What is up, everybody, and welcome to the FPL WildCats Live. Thank you for joining us this Thursday evening. I am going to pass us over to Nim, but before I do that, everyone in the chat, if you could hit that like button, I'm sure we'll think of some sort of like target for you to hit at some point in the stream. And make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell. And let's get on with the show. So, Nim, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, and welcome everyone to the stream. Today, it's just the OG team, the original crew, here for the win. And for those of you amongst us that don't know, at this point, we take a look back at how we got on in our previous game week. So, Kurt, would you like to kick us off, buddy?
Go for it. I got, once again, a completion medal on FPL because, wait for it, not only did I do it last week, but again this week, I got the amazing 69 points.
Hey! Hey!
Honestly, it could have been better, but I'm so happy that I forgot to make certain transfers in the team because the fact I got 69 2 weeks in a row, it's enough to make a grown man weep uncontrollably until about Thursday morning. So, yeah, that's been my life. But 69, still above the average, still not too much going on the overall rank. I ended up not transferring Salah because I forgot. And also Wilfried Zaha being injured is a bit of a bummer. I still haven't transferred him out, but that meant I got Ayling off the bench, which was a nice 6 points. Fernandes captain. It divides opinion because he's so well owned and people don't like the well owned players doing well, but it was a good safe choice and it ended up being that way. And it can either be one of two things. You can either be part of the party that's like, oh, we could have got a lot more, or he was lucky to have the penalty retaken, but I'm part of the could have gone either way. In the end, 11 points was quite nice. As a captaincy, it still winds me up to see so many people still, and I think there's a question that was submitted tonight about transferring Spurs players out. Yeah, I kept Son and Kane, and Son got 10, Kane got 4. I still don't see why people are looking to transfer them out. I still think that they're one of the most informed teams in the league. They're doing all right for me. Vice captain Chilwell was good on 7. Cresswell on 7. McCarthy not getting a clean sheet on 7 was quite a miracle, but I'll take it. Chilwell again on 7. And the rest of it really not too much to ask. I'm a bit worried though, having Salah, not really knowing too much about. I'm not sure if he played for Liverpool in the Champions League or not. I don't really pay too much attention.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did. So he's back. Okay, that's positive.
He's back.
Yeah, cool. But with Zaha obviously not playing, with Grealish going off injured, and not knowing too much about injuries myself, it was a bit of a worrying time. Having Salah back is positive. But yeah, there's a few problems now arising in the team. I haven't had a problem in quite a while, but the Grealish and Zaha injury debacle is going to go on for a bit.
Are you talking about Ross Barkley, Kurt? Because Grealish is fine as far as I know.
Oh, all I know is that Grealish came off really early on his game.
That was Barkley.
For Villa. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
Grealish is fine.
Grealish played the whole game, didn't he? I'll quickly check while you're talking.
No,
Ross Barkley went off after 5 minutes.
I didn't pay much attention. I just I was told by a friend that I was talking to at the time that he went off injured. And I haven't really, again, that shows how much attention I pay to it. So fair enough. Grealish isn't injured. So
Grealish played 90 minutes. Grealish played 90 minutes.
Well, I need to have a word with that friend because
they are doing you over.
Trying to trick you there, Kurt.
Yeah.
And the problem is that he also ended up on 1 point. So I just assumed he played like 5 minutes, got injured. I thought,
true.
Well,
He got booked.
Okay, yeah.
If he'd have got 2 points, I'd have been fine. But the fact he got 1 point, I just assumed it'd be right and then went on with my life. That makes things a bit easier. It's just a problem now. What do I do with Zaha? Because I did have a look on the transfers. And it's quite worrying. I think it's the midfielders. I have a look on price quickly. That there's a massive gap in terms of quality. So 9.5, you've got Rashford, Son, and Bale. And the next lowest price is 8.3.
What have you got to spend to replace Zaha, Kurt?
If I take Zaha out of my team, I've got 8.9. So it's quite an awkward. It's quite an awkward amount because the next highest, or the highest I can get, is 8.3 for Ziyech and Havertz, and I don't really fancy either of them. So I'll probably be looking to make a transfer out for Brewster, I reckon, trying to get another striker in that's playing. Maybe someone like a Bamford or Che Adams, someone that's safe that's playing a bit more than Brewster is, and maybe look at downgrading Zaha to someone because at the moment I've got 5 midfielders that if they're all fit and playing, I can't really drop. I can't really look at Grealish, Zaha, Salah, Fernandes, or Son and think, yeah, this week's your week to be dropped.
Are you interested in Jota at all, Kurt?
I haven't really looked much at Wolves. I haven't
He's
really
at
been too
Liverpool
impressed
now.
with Again, it shows how much attention I paid. Who's the other one? Podence. I get him and Podence confused.
So Jota's at
don't go
Liverpool.
for Podence,
He's
trust me.
scored in the last 3 games now. So Jota is proven to be a bit of a budget.
And it's not lacking minutes either. He's
No,
playing
he got
quite
rested
often.
in midweek. So to
I'm
replace
pretty sure I
Zaha
remember-
could be one to consider.
I'm pretty sure I remember. Now I know exactly what player I am talking about now. When Jota hit his form, I'm pretty sure Klopp changed his tactics the next game to get the 3 main ones and Jota in. So Firmino, Salah, and Mane to try and make room for all 4 of them. I think 4-2-3-1 or something like that. It's a potential, but then I've got double Liverpool, and I don't know if anyone's noticed. Probably not. I've been quite an advocate of getting rid of Liverpool players, barring Salah. So I don't particularly want to have 2 when I'm still not convinced of them as a team. I mean, the Leicester 3-0 was quite good, and with a weakened team as well, it's pleasing on the eye. But I don't know, it's just double Liverpool in midfield. It sort of limits me. I quite like, at the moment, apart from Son and Kane, having quite a variety of players from different teams.
So you've not made a transfer this week then yet?
Not yet, no.
You've been going quite early, haven't you, sometimes?
Yeah, I'm just not. Normally, I would go early. If I had enough to get someone, let's say like Rashford, I probably would have got Rashford.
Yeah.
If it was bang on the money, but there's such a difference in price. The fact that I'm 0.6 away from getting 9.5, and I'm 0.6 above getting 8.3, and those are the 2 ones that are closest to the 8.9 that I have. I've not really been too fussed on making a transfer early.
Yeah.
So I've sort of just sat on it a bit, which is rare. It also gives me a chance to think about things as well. But still thinking it might be that I get rid of someone like a 3.9 million Braithwaite in defence and get another defender. I'm not really too sure. I'm still looking about, but for the moment, even without Zaha playing, I'm quite happy where my team's at now. I know Salah's back and Grealish isn't injured, so yeah, 69. Apart 69,
solid
sorry.
week that 69
There we
without
go.
Salah and Zaha. It's a very solid week, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think it was mainly just the captaincy pick working, which is, it's been 50-50 at the moment this season, but it's still positive. I'm still happy with my team, a lot more than I was when I thought Salah was still out, then I thought Zaha was injured and Grealish was injured. It's good to see that 2 of them have recovered pretty much since I started speaking, due to me not knowing what's actually going on. But yeah, 69, I can't complain, and just got to try and find a way to get Zaha out now.
Okay. Cool. Jay, how did you get on?
Oh, I was dreading this. So, yeah, I managed to get 55 points, but it's with a -8, unfortunately. So that's 47 in total.
Okay.
I had my moves in place at about 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, feeling confident. I got rid of Salah and Trent for Bruno Fernandes and Chilwell. No way that can result in minus points at all, because I had 2 transfers in the bank. Can't go wrong because Salah and Trent weren't going to play.
Whoa, how many transfers did you do?
4. So I took a minus.
My word.
But then I went on Twitter because I had way too much time on my hands because I'm not at work at the moment. And I decided, look, in the long term, I do want Kevin De Bruyne for this run of fixtures. I also have transfers planned for this week as well, already ahead in advance. And that didn't leave space for Kane this week either, so I wanted Bamford in. So I brought in Bamford and De Bruyne for Son and Kane, and of course that didn't work out because Tottenham Hotspurs turned up against Man City. Now, the underlying stats suggest that if they're going to play like this against the top 6, I'm still preferring the likes of De Bruyne and Bamford over Kane and Son, because it wasn't like they had lots of chances, it's just the chances they did have, they made the most of. So I'm still not against the move, but I just think I did it a week too early, because there was no need to take that move. Tottenham Man City could have gone either way. So overall, didn't get the captaincy right either. I went Timo Werner, and although he looked like he could have got a big score in that Newcastle game, he didn't. Then Calvert, yeah, I know. There was when he didn't pass to Ziyech, like that feeble,
I had Ziyech as well.
That feeble outside of the foot pass. I was like, just either shoot or be a bit more confident with the pass. But yeah, I
I was
can't
gutted about that.
I can't actually be angry at my choice of Werner because on another day he could have got a lot more points than that. Bit annoyed I didn't consider Calvert-Lewin. He wasn't even in my thinking. And against Fulham, he should have been. But part of my goal at the start of the season was to kind of target the teams I thought were weak defensively. So not doing that was a bit disappointing. So a drop in rank to about 766k. But the team is closer to what I want it to be. The only issue now is Salah's back. And I was going to keep Salah on the bench.
Have you got money in the bank?
I have got money in the bank, yes.
Okay.
In the bank, I have 5.4 million. So
bloody hell.
I can quite easily get him back in if I need to.
What would your route be back to Salah then?
Well, see, that's where I'm a bit confused because I want Bruno Fernandes. Now I've got him in, I don't want to get him out.
Nah, I wouldn't be able to either. I just don't see the point.
And out of the midfielders I've got, it's Kevin De Bruyne's the one that's not showing the form. But I want him because of the fixtures.
I know.
So the only other thing I can think of is maybe downgrading Werner.
I want all three of those, basically.
Yes.
De Bruyne, Fernandes and Salah. And when I wildcarded, before Salah got the virus, I had all three on the wildcard team. But then obviously, because I was on a wildcard and Salah was out, I thought, well, I can't just keep Salah on a wildcard, So I do want those three longer term, I think.
Yeah, and I think the issue I've got is because I've spent quite a bit in defence now, because I've got Cresswell and Chilwell, and the plan is also to have Cancelo. It means Werner probably has to be downgraded for me to actually get Salah into the side. So I don't want to get rid of Grealish either. Yeah, because Grealish has been...
That's the way I'm swaying too, because three budget forwards, Bamford, Calvert-Lewin will do your job for the long term probably. Yeah. And then like a Watkins, I think over...
Exactly, Watkins, Che Adams...
I like those three.
There's options there, cheap striker, that I potentially think could match the likes of Timo Werner. Or at least, if it's not matching, it's close enough that it benefits by me then having a stronger midfield. So that's probably the way I'm going, but... Yeah, confidence hit a bit by the fact that I let myself get swayed to that -8 when I could have just waited a week and taken the Kane on some points. But we'll see. If the team I have this week does amazingly well, it's only because I took the -8 last week.
Yeah. I mean, they're long-term moves. So as long as obviously the new moves coming in start to outpay the moves going out, then, it's tough now, but hopefully, it won't be in a couple of weeks.
That City Spurs game was painful to watch, though.
Gosh, yeah, I bet.
Just watching De Bruyne not do anything. I was like, oh God.
Just watching De Bruyne not owning him was painful enough, so I can't imagine what it would have been like the other way around. Okay, Brett, how did you get on, buddy?
Yeah, not very good either, unfortunately. I'm still waiting to come on with a big smile on my face for one of these streams.
You got Calvert-Lewin in and he got a brace. Boy, you should be smiling.
I know, but I'm one of these people that everyone's got him. So it's like, I don't really, I need someone that no one has to do well. De Bruyne is the
when you didn't have him, you moaned when you got him.
Yeah, because everyone else stunk up my team, really. So he was the only positive. So yeah, wildcard failed. Basically, wildcarded during the international break. And yeah, look, I've got no complaints about Spurs punishing. I knew there was always a chance. It was always going to be a risk to get rid of them. Part of me did consider keeping Son. I was always going to get rid of Kane for Vardy. That was always the plan. Part of me did consider keeping Son because I thought he could... that game might suit him against Man City. And I thought back to the Champions League game where he scored a few against them as well last season or 2 seasons ago. But, I was well aware that was a big risk taking them out. All I needed was, maybe my options to match them or do better. So the thing is, I'm not saying that these two aren't great options, Son and Kane, that they're fantastic options. I was just hoping that maybe I could play the odds, and when they've got these tougher fixtures, try and find players that will outscore them, basically. And that didn't happen this week, but I got no complaints about that because it wasn't like I was heavily punished by those. It was more the fact that, players like Ziyech against Newcastle blanked, De Bruyne blanked, Vardy blanked. So these big, expensive assets that were my differentials, really, all didn't deliver. And that's where the problem lies, So like, I think watching De Bruyne, I was pretty. I know Man City aren't playing well, but I think I was quite unlucky with De Bruyne. I mean, his shot was going in, and Jesus blocked it with his ass. You know, Jesus was lying on the floor and blocked his own teammate's shot. Like, that's pretty unlucky. And then De Bruyne's corner went to Diaz, and Diaz headed it, and Lloris made an amazing save to deny De Bruyne an assist as well. So very, very close there to a 13-pointer from De Bruyne, probably goal and assist.
I'm terrified of not owning him.
Yeah, and I hope, this week now at home to Burnley, he can start to do the business again.
Well, I hope you've broken him.
And Pope's injured, isn't he? So.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And yeah, I mean, Ziyech, he was a big differential. Like, it's always frustrating when at the start of the season you see these bandwagons and you think, I'm going to be disciplined, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagons, and then they keep returning and you're like, oh, bloody hell, like, it actually worked. And then when you jump on a bandwagon, which is a bit like not in your instinct, you just know they're not going to do it, And I thought 2 double-digit hauls from Ziyech, why not? I'll just jump on him. He's playing great. Blanks against Newcastle, But again, if Werner squares it to him, he scores, and it's a different story.
And Werner could have scored an assist.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, he could have.
But he was just offside. So it's literal inches in that game that could have had it go a different way.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a lot of that this season, really fine margins, and you could say the same with Fernandes getting the retake, which for me was the fortunate side of things this week. But for those that didn't have him, again, it's these fine little margins that seem to happen every week. Patrick Bamford hit the post, had lots of chances, happy with his performance. Well. Really happy with Bamford, for the longer term. He's just so lively. So the positives were captaining Fernandes, of course. I thought his performance was deserving of the points he got anyway. I know that sounds rich because he was fortunate to get the penalty again, albeit it was the right decision because the keeper was off his line. But his performance, he made about so many assist chances, like so many big chances. I think he created 6 chances for his teammates, the most of any midfielder or player in the league for that week. Such a good performance. Yeah, and the other positive was I almost went into this week without Calvert-Lewin. He was a late. I brought him in on like an hour before the deadline.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I almost went with Watkins, and I thought, you know what? If I go into this game week without Calvert-Lewin against Fulham and he smashes it, I'm going to be so annoyed at myself. And I just, because I had 3 Villa players at that time, I thought, you know what? They've got good fixtures for the long term. I won't go 3. I'll just wait maybe 2 weeks and maybe get then Watkins for like game week 11 or 12 and see what happens. So luckily I went for Calvert-Lewin and he kind of, scored within 47 seconds. I was like, bloody, I'm so glad I got him now. I would have been so annoyed if he scored 47 seconds in and not had him.
Imagine. Yeah.
So I really like my team, bar one player. And I thought I need a differential. And I went for Patrick Van Aanholt because I know he has a lot of goal threat. And Palace had Burnley, Newcastle and West Brom, 3 teams that struggle to score goals, basically. So 3 chances for clean sheets there. But Palace was so bad against Burnley. And now I'm like, you know what? Will Mitchell come back in for Van Aanholt? Have I given myself a headache there?
Well,
I'm a little bit annoyed.
I would like that a lot because I have Mitchell still on the bench.
Yeah, I've got Mitchell too on the bench. So I've got both now, Mitchell and Van Aanholt. Because Mitchell, as a bench option anyway, at 4.1 million is a bargain, So I thought I'll keep him on the wild card. But now I'm like, I've given myself a bit of a headache there. And I wish I just kept James Justin now for Fulham. But 56, a red arrow on a wild card, which is obviously a big fail. Bit downbeat about that, but it's set up nicely for this game week now. So I just hope the team delivers because it's a solid team. I've got Vardy at home to Fulham this week, Calvert-Lewin with Leeds, and De Bruyne at Burnley at home. So yeah, hopefully they can do the business this week.
I just say to try and act as a bit of a motivator. When you use your wild card, do you look at that one game week, or do you look at potentially the rest of the season thinking, how well have they performing? How well could they perform? Because you may have had one bad game week, but if you storm through the next 3, not making many changes, your wild card hasn't been a fail.
I hope so.
If you'd have played your free hit, then it would have been a fail because it's a 1 week thing. But a wild card is for the every game week going forward now. So you just got to keep the faith. And the team looks strong. Having looked at it on stream, the team looks strong. So you just got to stick with it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I hope so. You're right, because I did put this together for the longer term, with a good few game weeks in mind, particularly for Man City. I really hope they do the business in the next 2 weeks. But
Who'd have thought
Yeah.
we'd been at this point where we're considering whether or not Man City can hit form?
I know,
know.
it's mad. Well, it looks like for once I've actually done the best out of everybody, which is a slight
Nice.
shock. I had a cracker of a week. I can't complain. I got 78 points. I did take a -8, so that's 70 points overall. And that was enough for my third green arrow in a row and an OR rise of 500,000 places. Some of my standout players were Robertson. I had a little niggling feeling to keep him, and the Salah injury pretty much sealed that. So thankfully I stuck there and got his assist and clean sheet for 12 points. That was fabulous. I did Kufal in for Sace, so that was a big
Nice.
plus, obviously, with his banked clean sheet.
Solid option, isn't he, at the moment, Kufal?
Yeah. Chilwell obviously got the clean sheet and bonus point. The only blot on this defence, this loveliness that is a defence, is Lamperty, who I didn't actually choose to play. So one of the reasons I took the -8 was so that I didn't have to play Lamperty. Unfortunately, he came in for the dreaded Wilson and spoilt my otherwise perfect defensive display. So yeah, I was a little bit frustrated with that. Yes, like most people, Bruno came in for Salah, and of course he repaid me with 11 points. That was doubled to 22 as my captain. That was, that penalty thing. I had it on my iPad, and when I seen that the first penalty got saved, I was just like, it's typical. That's just typical. The way my week is going, that is typical. But when it got retaken, I was so happy. But I realized there was so much controversy around it. It's crazy. I mean, I think just depends on what side of the coin you are for points, doesn't it? And I did feel lucky to get those points regardless. So
when he initially missed it, my heart sank.
I know.
Because my team had already done so badly. Like all my midfield had blanked, and I only had Fernandez left to go with captain.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was sort of looking up to the sky, like, please.
I know.
And I was saying to myself, be positive. He's gonna score. And then he saved it, and I was like,
I know.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Oh, mate, don't. I know the pain.
I actually watched it and jumped off my seat, going, "Why have you come off your line?" Because I didn't captain him. I was like, "This is going to hurt." Especially if he does anything after. And when it was saved, I was like, no, he's come off his line. And I was just waiting, and I was like, yep, there it is.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So I was with Kurt last week on the whole Spurs thing. You know me, I bang on about form over fixtures, and I did stick with Son and Kane. Obviously, a lot of sticking with Son and Kane comes down to the Sonny 6 for me, which is still going strong. And he only owes me 3 goals now, so I cannot complain with him. So thank goodness for that challenge, because I do think I would have been extremely tempted to sell him. And again, I think that Salah situation definitely helped with keeping him there, and the Sunny 6 challenge. So happy with that. Those 10 points. Calvert-Lewin obviously doing Calvert-Lewin things for all of us with the brace.
And form is just ridiculous.
It is just crazy.
Unbelievable.
The annoying part about it is, in my video the week before I'd made any changes, I was like really tempted to captain Calvert-Lewin, but I'll probably get too scared and go back to Salah. And of course, with no Salah, I'm thinking, why didn't I just put it on Calvert-Lewin?
Why aren't more of us captaining Calvert-Lewin?
I think
I'm asking myself that same question. Like, if he was 10 million, we'd all be captaining him.
I know.
I think the issue also is, are we confident in him scoring a brace?
Yeah,
we're
that's
confident
the thing,
in him returning.
Yeah.
But I've had him from the beginning, and most of the time he's got me 1 goal or 1 assist.
Yeah, okay.
And I think there's only been 2 game weeks where he's got a brace, or
it's the ceiling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I think a lot of people are just, they're wary of. That was kind of one of the the cheeky sport things that I did with Brandon and the Always Cheating guys, and they were saying about Calvert-Lewin and exactly that. Basically, they just, it's that he's consistent, but it's almost like Jimenez, isn't it? He's consistent, he ticks away, but you don't necessarily captain him because you don't think he's going to get those
But then you look at the
hauls.
opponents. If I just focus more on the opponents,
I know.
it made sense. As soon as I saw it
know.
happen, I was like, why? Why didn't I do it?
Yeah.
But hindsight.
Yeah, of course. Paid back obviously from holding on to Kane with the assist. Ziyech, how am I saying his name, lads? Because I've had some stick for the way I say
or
it.
Ziyech. I don't know if you pronounce the ch or not. So
I
I'd say
know.
Ziyech, but I don't know whether
It varies with everyone. Everyone's got their own way of
Well,
saying it.
thank
It's like
you, but I said I always say Ziyech, and in my video I got a bit of sass in the comments below, basically saying
That's why
I'm
he's not
saying
on my
it
side.
wrong. So
It's not
and
going
they
to
were
put him on my
like,
side.
well, everyone knows how to say it. Well, I'm glad you guys are here saying you don't know how to say it, so it's fine. He came in as part of that whole -8 for Foden. It's a bit of a shame he couldn't pay me back for that hit, but of course Foden didn't start and only got 1 point, so they did only lose 2 points on that move, and it was worth a punt.
So you've not got Mo Salah either now, Nim.
Yes.
Any plan or?
No, I literally have a massive issue now, lads. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have backed myself into a corner because I don't have Salah, I don't have KDB, and I don't have Vardy, and they're the 3 standout players for this game week. And of course, I can't drop Son because of the Sunny 6, so that cuts off a route to one of the 2 midfielders. I could drop Kane to Vardy, but I'm not sure I want to. That's a tough one. Of course, it would give me a bit of extra cash, and Leicester do have great fixtures in the next 3. But Kane has been good to me, so I don't know if I really want to kind of hop off. And Son and Kane together at the moment just look. I almost feel like they're underrated. It's their partnership is just so good at the moment.
It's exceeded my expectations for them this season for sure. I didn't expect, like, I've always loved both Son and Kane. They're both FPL legends, but under Mourinho, I got to admit, I didn't see this kind of form.
No, none of us did. We all sat here at the beginning, really, and we weren't that fussy with Spurs. We were just a bit like, Mourinho's in charge now.
I was sort of like, I don't know if I trust them, but they're just smashing it every week.
I think it's just that they've just clicked this season.
And
both of them.
Højbjerg has come in and
has made a massive
Kane
difference.
To be a bit more
and everyone keeps
creative,
moaning, he goes too deep, and all this sort of he does, but none of that matters in FPL if they're still returning. I feel like we say that all the time with KDB. If KDB isn't returning, everyone moans that he's going too deep. When he is returning, he's still doing the same thing. We just don't notice it as much because he's then returning, getting in the right places, and somebody is finishing off all of his chances. But I am not sure how I'm going to approach this. I genuinely have had a pretty crappy week, so I haven't really had a good chance to sit and look at my team properly. Anyway,
we could be going into the next game week with only Kurt with Salah. That's a turn up for the boys. It's like the opposite of how it used to be.
I know.
What's gone wrong? What's wrong with everyone?
What's happened here?
We entered the upside down. What's gone wrong?
Well, the reason I went Kufal was so that I left enough money in the bank to do Bruno straight back to Salah.
Yeah.
As opposed to going for a Vestergaard or somebody who I also had enough money for. So I do have enough money in the bank to go straight back to Salah. And there is a bit of me that, just because I really like owning Salah, it's like everything you say, Brett, watching the Liverpool games without him and all those sorts of things. I feel like I could watch a United game more so without
Yeah.
having Bruno than I could watching a Liverpool.
I won't be
match
able to watch the
without-
Brighton game. I won't even watch it.
Yeah,
I won't
Interestingly,
watch it without him.
since Bruno's joined the Premier League, he's outscored Son, FPL wise.
yeah, and I know, and that is the bit. Regardless of, it's kind of head versus heart, isn't it? Like when you look at the pure fact, what I shouldn't be going back to Salah with that transfer, because of him doing better than Salah. So I'm almost reluctant not to do anything. I mean, I've just got a team that's just scored me 70 points.
Yeah.
I know part of the game is getting on the right players at the right time and all of those sorts of things, but I have only had Ziyech in my team for 1 week. I haven't really given him much of a chance, and he looked brilliant. I thought he was really unlucky not to get anything. Like Jay said, it was inches again,
If
and
Werner squares that ball
not,
to him,
yeah,
it's a 99 out of 100 times he would square that correctly. And
exactly.
then it's like, great, we've got a differential here.
I am a bit concerned about Grealish. I'm not going to lie. I know his fixture's brilliant, but I just have a little bit of a gut feeling, if I can throw that out there, because it is a bit out there given his recent form, that this might be the start of his dip. I'm hoping not.
The Barkley injury is a bit of a
Has that been in
concern.
your dream though? Have you dreamed
No.
about it? Then I don't care.
It's
It's not
just a
mine.
gut feeling. This is
Honestly-
like keeping Robertson last week kind of gut feeling. So sometimes the gut feelings work too. not
as
as
much as the
spot
dreams.
on as the dreams, but they're close sometimes.
See, I thought Grealish was unlucky again. I do think the Barkley injury could be an issue,
Yeah.
but I still think he's got a bit more time.
Either
in my
way,
side.
that's the thing. Either way, he hasn't done anything for me to just, get rid of him either. Do you know what I mean? So here I am stuck with a midfield that is absolutely really nothing wrong with, apart maybe from Ziyech. But I mean, he's only blanked in one game week, and it's such a small sample size yet to say whether or not that's whether or not he's going to go on a form of blanks or or a run of good games. It's just that he has tougher fixtures. So do I move him out based on his tougher fixtures rather than on how he looked in the last game? I am rattling my head over
I'm
this.
going to try
one.
and give Ziyech 2 more weeks because they do have Leeds at home, I think, or Leeds away, one of the two in the game after this one.
Okay.
And that's a nice fixture, So I'm probably going to give him the next 2 or try to. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And then look, if he does bad in those, then I'll try and upgrade him to Salah for game week 12 then.
I have thought about doing the Bruno spot. I have thought about making that like a rolling spot, so that it
like
would
to
be
do the hokey cokey on big hitters.
Yeah, exactly. So move him to
like
Salah
Sterling for game week 11 or something, and then Salah game week 12, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like literally just switch them back and forth. So maybe Salah this week, because exactly. Just keep going for Fulham every single time. KDB, basically just with that one spot.
Yeah.
But of course, obviously, if an injury crops up elsewhere or something else, because I've only got one transfer in the back, that's that's easier said than done. But it could be a bit of fun, and it could be a way to kind of chase that one fixture with with in-form players. And
a hit doesn't matter as much if you nail the captaincy on that week and they get like 15-20 points. It's like a 30-40 point swing. So
it's just then the fact of not having one of those players again if they go big, but then I'm not going to have them anyway. So it's a bit I just don't know is the honest answer. I really don't. It's a very tough one this week, and I may end up not doing anything, which is not something I thought I would do given how big it's going to be a tough weekend to watch though if I do nothing. I know that much, because I have considered Jota in for Ziyech as well. That's another one I've considered, just to have some Liverpool cover, attacking cover. So that's another possibility that would leave me again more, because I got 1.7 I think it is in the bank, so that would really free up a fair bit of funds to kind of make some switcheroos.
Yeah,
with,
this is the difficulty, isn't it? Because
but-
you want to stay patient with a player like Ziyech, but then you realize that you can't make an upgrade elsewhere unless you take him down. So it's like you want to be patient, but it also holds you from making those other moves.
And it's the fact that as he blanked, he's a player in midfield that's blanked. And where so many midfielders are doing well and he's a premium midfielder, it is tough to kind of, but
Just hope Ziyech just surprises me this week, because I think like he's going to blank again, and I would love to see him like just surprise me and get me like a nice double-digit haul, but it's not going to happen.
Well, I tell you what, you let me know whether you're keeping
Salah's
him or not, and then I'll decide what I'm doing.
I just know Salah's going to smash it. I just know Salah's going to punish him.
That's the concern. And I have thought about putting Salah in for Bruno this week, and then obviously going back for the Fulham match. So, yeah, I could do that, but I don't know, lads. I don't know. Yeah,
it feels like a tough week, this one.
It is a tough. Because you can't have them all. You just can't have them all.
And there's half of us without Salah now, and everyone freaks out. Depending on what type of manager you are, it's always scary to go without him. But then obviously Fernandes and De Bruyne with his fixtures, and Vardy at home to Fulham. So they're very high-priced options, and it's.
I mean, and it's just staring down the barrel of not having these highly owned players, and staring down the barrel of no Vardy if he smashes it, no Salah if he smashes it, and no KDB if he smashes it, and that could undo all of my hard work in the last 3 weeks.
My only small comfort is that even though I'm the sort of manager I hate going without Salah, I always hate it, right? And I fear it the most. Like, he's the one player I just hate not having.
Yeah, same.
But a lot of people have sold him, so he is less owned than we're used to seeing. It's not like he's 50% owned now. He's like 27, 28, maybe 30%. So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping, because I've got a strong captaincy option at home to Fulham in Vardy, I'm hoping he can just sort of, I don't like the word cover him, but do me a job. And
I was so set on Vardy initially, but I've even gone off of going for him. And I don't know whether it's just generally, I don't know whether it's just because I genuinely haven't been able to be as fixated into the game this week or what, but I'm just thinking, I feel like Kane could, just in his form, because I mean, if Kane had just been a tiny bit more onside on the weekend, he would have had a goal as well, and Sonny would have had an extra assist.
Oh God!
And I didn't
like that one. That one,
And I'm thinking, I know Vardy's good, and I know he's got a good fixture, but would I then be wanting to go back to Kane? And then I've got a sneaky feeling about Aguero in a couple of weeks as well. So if I go to Vardy, then
Fulham could be tasty.
that money, that money's gone, because I will end up using it somewhere else. I know I will. Jay, did you say whether you were gonna get Salah in or not?
I'm believing it's going to be very likely.
Very likely or unlikely?
Very likely that I'll get Salah back
-4 then, would it, Jay?
Yes, it'd probably have to be a -4. Werner down to someone. Okay. Unfortunately, it can't be Watkins because I've got Martinez and Steer in goal. So I've already tripled up on Aston Villa. Not that I ever plan for Steer to do anything. But yeah, it'd probably be Werner down to... Che Adams' fixture isn't great. Could look at Antonio. I do fancy him if he is coming back into the side for West Ham's fixtures. So it's probably a downgrade of Werner, just because looking at Chelsea's fixtures, even though I'm sure the FPL website has quite a few greens there, there's some sides on form there, like Villa, West Ham. Like looking through it, I think it was Leeds I was worried about, and it would be DCL, Bamford, and then whoever I bring in for Werner.
Yeah, I don't
and
have
then Podence up, is it?
I guess I could...
Podence up to Salah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I guess I could do Kane to Bamford and then
I'm done with Podence. Podence is just a very irritating player, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does very well after I get rid of him, but it is what it is.
I almost feel like I want one more week at looking at everybody before making a decision, but that's the problem, is I feel like this is the week that those players are going to do well, and then I'll be a week behind everybody. But then I would have 2 transfers and I could maybe juggle things around a bit more.
It's true.
So
And then you've got 2 transfers. If Man City look good, you can look at the Fulham fixture then.
yeah.
You know,
So
but if they don't look good against Burnley, then you can maybe look elsewhere.
yeah. Okay, let's get on to some questions then. Guys, do get your questions in the chat for the quick fire round in a little while. I'm sure Brett will take them down. But our first question comes from Glenn Kitely from Everything Arsenal. He would like to know best City options between Mahrez, Foden and Torres. So, Kurt,
Wow.
any preference on those 3?
Neither. None of them. Do I have to pick an answer though?
I suppose for fairness,
None of them
yes.
is a fair enough answer.
I know. I think.
Okay.
Like, I know. I'm in the same boat. I potentially wouldn't want to pick any of them, but
Let's have a look and see who's played the most minutes. Who was it? It was Mahrez, Foden, and
Torres.
Torres. Mahrez has played the most minutes, so Mahrez. But overall, I'd have none of them 3. If you're going to go City, you've got to go De Bruyne and no one else. A bit like Liverpool, you've got to go Salah and no one else at the moment. City are rubbish. Why would you
Wow,
want to get more than
people
one
would
City
argue
player
with
in?
you that Jota's an option at the minute for Liverpool.
For the price, yeah, but he's constantly playing. Can you say getting Mahrez, Torres, or Foden in from City? You
Oh
can
no,
say,
no, no,
you
no!
know,
I'm not arguing with you on the City front. I'm just saying when you said Salah's the only option in Liverpool, I'm just saying that people might argue that.
Oh yeah, well obviously
Jota's an
it's the only
option as
other
well.
option I think would be Jota, but
Yeah,
in terms of those 3, I don't understand why people consistently look to get those sort of players in. Because I look at them and I think maybe for a 1 week punt or a couple of weeks, yeah, if there's a few injuries about, they've got to play. But you know full well, Mahrez has not played in fixtures. Foden won't play in fixtures. Torres won't play in fixtures. So you're going to be left a bit. Oh, well, you dropped Torres. That's one of my players. So I'd go De Bruyne if I was getting a City player in or none.
yeah. I think I have to agree with you. So I sold Foden last game week. And so you can imagine that I was a lot happy when he was on the bench. He looks great. He does look great when he plays, but it's just that Pep roulette. It's just so brutal. It is brutal, and even at Foden's price, because it's that hope that gets you. It's that hope that he plays, and when he does play, he looks good, and that he will get something, but of course it's that whole will he play. So, and the problem with all 3 of those is they're just such rotation risks. So I really wouldn't. I think I don't know. I don't even know. Has Torres been a 90-minute man the last couple of weeks? I don't really know his minutes, to be honest. I haven't
His
really
he's
last
played less minutes
3
than
game
Torres.
weeks is 90,
Mahrez.
60, 80. He didn't play in the next 2. Then he was 64, 26, and 9.
Wow. Yeah,
The Torres looked promising when Jesus and Aguero were both out, but now that they're back,
yeah.
I just don't think he's an option.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of with Kurt here. KDB feels like the only real safe, no-nailed option.
Someone agrees with me.
Oh,
Well, to be fair,
I've agreed with you 2 weeks in a row now.
To be fair, Kurt, I agree with you as well. And I would also say, if you have to go with one of those 3, it's Mahrez, because his underlying stats are better, his minutes are better. So I can't look at anyone else out of those 3. But I'd much prefer you go for Kevin De Bruyne.
I just can't back.
Oh, lost him.
Price makes a big difference, you know.
We lost you for a minute there. It's all right. I can't back.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it pulls for me too. I know you're not actually backing Mahrez, so you're just sort of picking one of the 3. But I can't back the Mahrez shout at all, just because he's a big source of frustration for Man City's performances at the moment. The fans are really on his back. Like, you know, they're saying that he's got Pep's nudes or something, how he's starting all the time. Like, I'm watching the games. Mahrez is so selfish at the moment. He's so off form, in my opinion. And it's the price as well, you know. It's not like you can really punt on Mahrez because he's so expensive. For me, on my wild card, I genuinely considered keeping Foden, and I was going to bench him away to Spurs. So I wouldn't have cared if he was.
Yeah, I remember you saying last week you were.
Yeah, I was going to keep him as a squad option and then bring him in for Burnley at home and Fulham at home. And look, I know he's a rotation risk, but out of those three, I've still got this thing that Foden is going to start getting in the team more soon. I know we don't know when, but for these nicer fixtures, I feel like Foden's going to be.
I mean, out of those three options, he feels like the better option to me as well. I know the Mahrez thing, Jay, and I think it's just the cash difference that would sway me more towards Foden. But for nailedness,
I really like these fixtures for City, and like if I had Foden and he was starting at home to Burnley at 6.5 million, or I could have a 6.5 striker, I would have Foden. He scored again in midweek, and I think because City are playing so bad without him, this can only go on so long before Pep realizes, right, okay, I've got to play Foden now because we're playing better with him. I know he's protecting him, and I know he's a rotation risk, but out of those three, it would be Foden all day for me. I still think he's going to be a good option over the next 10 game weeks.
Okay, cool. At Atoms Nuclear, so Nuclear Atoms, regular here, has a couple of questions for us. The first is, should he keep Son or transfer him and Antonio out to bring in Vardy and Soucek for a -4? So, Jay, I'll give this one to you first. Any thoughts?
I mean, I can already see Kurt shaking his head. I'm not too fond on Vardy right now because so much of his goals have come from penalties that I'm not sure I can really get a read on him properly from his
scored
stats.
Tonight, right? I don't know whether it was a penalty or not.
Did you not watch Fulham on the weekend?
But yeah, it's.
Nah, you're right.
I think for this week, like if I was playing a weekly fantasy football game, Vardy would be straight in.
Yes, yeah,
for definite. I just really fancy Antonio to do well myself. And
what's the latest on his fitness, Jay? Is he back now then?
He was close to being ready for the last game, so I'm hopeful.
Yeah, didn't he say on Twitch that he was fit, but then he didn't play or something?
Yeah.
Remember
to be honest,
that?
Harler actually scored as well,
but he said he was going to score. He said he was going to play.
Yeah, Harler scored. Harler's celebration as well was like he was scoring every week. I was like, mate, like, don't do that. Don't stand there like you've been doing this every weekend.
He does that. He does. That's his, you watch back through last season as well. That's his celebration. Legitimately, he just sort of walks off, Cantona style.
Yeah, that was cringe, I thought.
I was happy because it was a goal. But I just think if there's any Spurs player to keep, that potentially, I think Kane is in form and will still get assists. But if they play like they did against City, against the other teams, Son is the one that has the ability to get him behind.
For sure. It's $1 million cheaper as well,
Yeah.
I know.
That is why I do keep thinking, should I do Kane to Vardy? Should I just
If I had the luxury of the rest of my side seemed perfect for the next 6 or 7 game weeks, and I just had a transfer and I could do it for 1 week, then yes, I'd take Vardy for this game week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like the players you've already got.
I could switch back. I could do the switcheroo. It would cost me, I think, 0.2 or something to do the switcheroo. Kane, Vardy back. That's like.
So the thing is, he's talking about players that are kind of on form. I mean, Soucek hasn't really scored that often, as much as we probably have hoped when we saw his price.
I would just keep Son.
If you're trying to play the fixtures, I can understand the move. But
yeah.
The thing is, like, if Kane scores again now against Chelsea, then I'm going to be very worried because, like, then they've got Arsenal. I think he's definitely going to score against Arsenal.
Doesn't Kane score against London clubs?
I have to keep him for that. I mean, they are going to muller us. Son and Kane are going to rip us a new one.
I feel like if Son and Kane, because I saw Man City and Chelsea, and I thought, you know what, I can probably go without these two. And if they've done the business against City now. Yeah. If they do it against Chelsea, who are the best defence in the league at the moment, like in the last couple of game weeks, they are the most solid team. If they do the business against them, I'm going to be very worried for the Arsenal game and then Palace. I am going to be worried for those two. So
I think I might just stick, lads. It's just like the more I think about it, and I think about some of the fixtures that are coming up, even though Vardy has great fixtures and he will be the standout captain this week, just the form that they're on, and then Arsenal next.
I think you need to put yourself in the situation where you think, if the worst happens, how are you going to feel? Because if you get Vardy in and he blanks and Kane scores against Chelsea, are you going to have to knee jerk it back again and like waste another transfer? Or are you going to be happy to say, you know what, I've made this decision, Kane's out for now, I'm going to back Vardy against Sheffield United away in the following game. You know,
I know what you mean. They're great.
How you're going to feel when the worst
Vardy
happens
as well, aren't they? So it's difficult.
Yeah, I like Vardy for the Sheffield United game for sure. He likes playing
yeah. So Kurt, would you say just stick with Son and Antonio, right?
I think I may have said at one point last week that if you're considering transferring out Son and Kane, you're an idiot.
Yes,
I'm pretty much I'm gonna stick with that as well, because we're treating Tottenham as if they're not one of the big six. We're treating Tottenham as if they're not one of the better teams in the country. So I don't. It's not as if this is Aston Villa, where eventually they're going to have to tail off. They're not going to stick there winning everyone, beating Liverpool 7-2 every week of the season. This is a team that has effectively failed in the last couple of years to live up to expectations. Now the team's clicking and it's working well.
Yeah.
And I think, although any other day things could have happened. Maybe the handball was one thing. Maybe Jesus getting his arse in the way is one thing. But Tottenham are a side that just keep on going from strength to strength, and I don't even think they're as strong as they can be this season. And I've been a big cricket. Whoops.
Well, we know you've been a big cricket.
I've been a big critic of Mourinho, and I'm still not a big, overly fond of the man. I do still think he's a bit of a tactical and managerial dinosaur. But what he's got at the moment with the team and the way they're working and the tactic, it's working.
Yeah.
And not, we're not going to see too many times teams play against Man City and beat them 2-0 and look relatively comfortable with it, are we?
No.
And I do think Man City are out of form, but at the same time, I think genuinely we've got to start looking at Spurs as serious.
Could you not give that argument for Vardy as well? One of the best teams in the league right now. Near the top of the table.
I just think if you didn't have to do it for a -4, if you didn't have to do it for a -4, then I would be a lot less like, I'd be a bit more.
I mean, if we all had the money, we'd have Vardy and Kane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you're choosing between two, and you've got Vardy versus Fulham, and Kane versus Chelsea.
I mean, actually, could I do that for Wilson? Just start thinking now. Ziyech down to somebody.
Because I agree with you. I think Spurs will still do well.
Jota.
It's just, do I think Kane and Son will score more than the likes of Vardy?
Well, I saw someone tweet that I responded to this week about you can have Spurs assets for the next 5 weeks, and I looked at it and I thought, are the fixtures that bad?
Yeah,
the next 5 they aren't that bad. Away against Chelsea are a team that will just attack. There's going to be goals in that game for both sides, so there's going to be returns there for Son and Kane.
And even not, it's only one match where they have them. They potentially may blank.
The problem with Son and Kane, they just seem to be doing it so consistently. It's like it feels like they're never going to go on a run of 3 blanks in a row, are they? So it's just like.
But even then, after that, you go Arsenal at home, and honestly, they need to be policing
Arsenal
that could
fixture.
Get violent.
Oh, it's a great fixture.
Arsenal's a good fixture.
Son will score against, and Kane will score.
Son will score. Kane loves playing against Arsenal. Crystal Palace away. Crystal Palace haven't looked very good.
Oh, that's annoying.
Liverpool away. The team's there for the taking. They're still not very good. And at the back, there'll still be goals in that game. May not win, but there'll be goals in that game. Leicester at home is probably the hardest out of the 5. And that's worrying when you've got, in the 3 of those 4 fixtures, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. So I think anyone that considering transferring out Spurs, I think you're mental.
Anyone got 0.4, they can lend me.
2 highest scoring players as well, aren't they, Kane and Son? So yeah, maybe it is a case of overthinking it,
And you look at the times that Son has blanked. One of the times he was brought off in the 45th minute in a game where he could have had a hat-trick in that first half. Every other blank, he's been unlucky not to score, or the games have sort of been a bit one of those games that you just know happen once in a while.
Or when he was my captain.
Yeah, or Brett's captain. Everything else, he's been phenomenal. And this week is his 5th double-digit haul in 9 game weeks.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I know.
So Yeah, I genuinely, I can't see myself transferring them out from much of this season at all. Maybe on a free hit if they've got maybe, I don't know, like a Liverpool game or a Man United or a tough game like that, but one of the big six. But apart from that, they're staying in my team, 100%.
So his next question is something that I just considered, only on 0.4 off. So I could, if I had an extra 0.4, I could have done Wilson to Vardy and Ziyech to Jota, but 0.4 off, alas. And Nuclear Atom says, will Jota prove to be a better asset than Salah if he keeps his good run of form? So who wants to take this one, Brett? What do you think? Jota better than Salah if he continues his form?
Well, of course not. But it's a completely different prospect, isn't it? Because he's half the price, So I put Jota in the point predictor this week. I think this week is a good week for Jota for sure. I think he scored in like the last 3 games now. And looking at
a bit of a rest as well.
Yeah, rested in midweek. I think this week is good for both Salah and Jota. I wouldn't expect, if I had just Jota, I wouldn't think, oh great, I can cover Salah with this this player, So I like maybe both of them. But yeah, I wouldn't feel safe just having Jota and not Salah. I wouldn't expect him to kind of cover his points. I still think Jota's still a bit of a rotation risk, not for this week, but longer term. But yeah, I do like Jota for this week for sure. I just don't think he's obviously better than Salah. Some interesting stats on Jota. So for budget midfielders below 8 million, he's had the most big chances with 5 and scored 4. So that is the exact same amount of big chances and goals as Grealish, who is a lot more popular, despite playing like 200 minutes less. Because that's from 3 sub appearances as well. So his stats for his minutes played is really good. So the stats look very promising for Jota this week. So of course he's not better than Salah, or I wouldn't feel safe with him. But as an individual, an option, I really like Jota.
So even though you don't have Salah, and you're not going for Salah this week, or are you going for Salah this week?
I've sort of I've made it very difficult for myself. I plan to get him back for game week 12. Look, against Fulham.
Yeah.
So as much as I hate to go without Salah against Brighton now, I don't have an easy route to him.
And so how is your route in that Fulham one?
Well, I'm going to roll the transfer this week and have 2, and then probably use 1 for game week 11. So I'd have 2 free transfers for game week 12. Fernandes is away to City, and City and United play each other in game week 12. So I could easily move one of them to Salah, but I would like to keep those 2. Really, the dream would be to upgrade Ziyech to Salah, probably by getting rid of Vardy, depending on how Vardy does in the next 2 game weeks. So it's really, I'm going to have to see how my team does before I can plan that. Ideally, I would downgrade Vardy if he disappoints, and then upgrade Ziyech to Salah. But I can very easily move De Bruyne up to Salah if there's an injury or if he doesn't perform against Fulham. So there's many routes. I need to see how the team performs.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Jay, Jota, Vardy, thoughts?
Wasn't it Jota Salah? Thoughts?
Sorry, yes.
I was like, I'm not ready for that.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I mean, the key to his question is the fact that he put, if Jota keeps up his form. Well, if he does keep up his form, then yes. He's quite clearly a great option and probably a better option than Salah because of the price. But it's that fear of rotation, and it's whether he can keep that form up. We have a bit more history with Salah.
We have seen all 4 of them play together, haven't we? So I don't understand. Klopp is the type of manager, at least, to want to play the same team week in, week out.
Yeah, but it's this issue of the going from the 4-3-3 to the 4-2-3-1. Is this his plan? Because if it is his plan to move to it, then perfect. Or is this what he does against teams where he wants 4 good attacking options, and then against teams where he thinks he only needs 3 and he needs to be a bit more defensively solid, does then Jota get dropped and lose some minutes? Because Liverpool can score against anyone. But it's whether Jota will always be in a 4-2-3-1 or rotation issues whenever there's any sort of European game. Like, I'm still not confident I know what Klopp's plan is. That's the problem I have with Jota.
Yeah.
Would I love to take the risk? If I felt my team was in a bit better shape, I might just take the risk and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to keep shooting up in price if he keeps playing.
Okay, Kurt, and your thoughts? I
Jota
mean,
or Salah?
yeah, I'm assuming you're going to say Salah.
Because I've already got Salah, yeah, I wouldn't. Because it's still, I mean, admittedly, it's hard to say. It's still a bit of a risk going from Salah to Jota because you know that there isn't much that Salah could do to get himself dropped, other than maybe a bit of a fitness concern, an injury or suspension. So for me, and I think Salah's going to get priority on set plays like free kicks and penalties as well potentially. So yeah, for me, I'm just going to stick with Salah. He's done me no wrong so far.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray. Yeah. Apparently played in the Man City match. Okay, at Vardy Boys would like to know which we prefer. So first option is Rashford to Fernandes. And the second option is Rashford and Kane to Vardy and Salah for a hit. So obviously you can do Rashford to Fernandes for free, I'm assuming. And then, or he can do Rashford and Kane to Vardy and Salah for a hit. So Kurt, which of those would you prefer?
Rashford to Fernandes.
I think for free, and then or Rashford and Kane to Vardy and Salah for a hit.
Rashford and Kane, Vardy and Salah. So he's Rashford out, Fernandes in the first one, isn't it? So I'm struggling to get my head around it.
I'm assuming just a straight
I'd go with that
upgrade
because
there.
I wouldn't transfer Kane out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how good the transfer could be on the second one. I wouldn't transfer Kane out. He's a man that's up front for the best informed team in the country.
Not even for Salah and Vardy.
No,
Getting two for the price of one, possibly. No.
because who's also coming out for Kane, Rashford again.
Yeah.
So my theory is that Fernandes is more of a key player.
Although I could imagine Rashford doing quite well this week. I don't know why, but just
Yeah.
thought that he
Yeah.
could. So yeah. Anyone else want to weigh in that, Brett? You?
Yeah, you make a good point there. 'Cause I obviously prefer Bruno to Rashford.
Yes.
I really like. I just love watching Bruno. I just love watching him play. But against Southampton, like we did see, Kane was the creator and Son benefited a lot. And if Bruno's in form and can assist Rashford in this game,
Yeah.
then Rashford could benefit, But I still like the move Rashford to Bruno. Longer term, I just prefer Bruno as an option. I also like the second move as well. I would
That's
make
a
either
tough one,
of
isn't it?
those.
Yeah.
I like the one Rashford to Kane to Vardy Salah because I like
Yeah.
Salah and Vardy for this week and for the next couple. I'm assuming he's got Son. Obviously, I've got rid of both now, but I think I do like the idea of having just the one of the Spurs players at least, just to kind of bit of damage control, And I would prefer Son because he's cheaper, and I just like Son. I think I'm okay without Kane. Obviously, he's a bit scary not owning him, but he's so expensive.
Yeah.
And he's been so creative and so amazing. But watching him against Man City, he was very, very deep. And I don't mind a high-priced asset. 11 million striker being that deep, if I don't have him, I think fair enough. I'm not too worried about him. So, I like both of those moves, to be honest.
Jay?
I'd be a bit wary of making that for a -4. That's my issue with that move. Just because the players he's getting rid of, Kane and Rashford, could go and score quite big this game week.
Yeah.
Potentially. Whereas if he just goes Rashford to Bruno, if he prefers Bruno, he's not losing that -4 and he still has Bruno and Kane.
I think his issue is, I haven't seen his team, but if he hasn't got Bruno, he hasn't got Vardy, he hasn't got Salah at this moment, who is he captaining, I wonder? I think that's probably what he's worried about. He's thinking, I haven't got a captain option here.
Yeah.
Because if you get Bruno, you can captain him. If you get Vardy or Salah, you can captain one of those.
Just to point out the obvious here, Vardy boys. I mean, you're called Vardy boys, and you don't have Vardy in your team for possibly one of the best features of the season. So, just saying. But the lads have pretty much covered it. I think none of them look like bad options on paper, that's for sure. The hit would possibly put me off, because although I do think Vardy and Salah can smash it this week, you know, once you take the hit off, would it be more than what Bruno and Kane could get you? I'm not entirely sure. So I don't know. I think that might have to be a gut call on that one, for sure.
If he's more averse to hits, then I still like the Rashford to Bruno move. I know it's a bit sideways, but longer
I don't know.
term,
I just have a feeling for Rashford this weekend. I have a lot of gut feelings this weekend, and I'm not following any of them. Although I can't really get to Rashford. So, okay. Shall we get some quick fire questions in?
Sure. Have we got none other at the moment, Nim?
No, that's it at the minute. Okay. But I can have a quick chat through who we're each going to captain while you gather those up, if you like.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I'm just quickly going to flip through the chat.
Yeah, no worries. So, Kurt, who are you going to captain this week, please, buddy? Or who are you thinking of captaining?
I've not had a look at all.
Jay?
What have I got?
Well, Kurt's
come back to me.
If I bring in Salah, it's probably going to be Salah.
Okay.
I mean, I had penciled in a Man City option for this game week, but can I captain a Man City option when they haven't had the form? I know Pope isn't there. I know against Burnley you'd expect Man City to do well.
Yeah.
But I'd be hedging my bets that this is the game they turn it around in. Whereas if I have Salah, I'll be a lot more comfortable with that as a captaincy option. So if Salah comes in, it's Salah.
Okay. For me... Son. Oh, sorry. You're going to captain Son?
Yep.
Kurt. Okay. Cool.
Oh, fair play.
Mine is on Bruno at the moment. I have been tempted again, though, at the moment without any transfers, to consider Calvert against Leeds. Just because of how attacking Leeds are, it might leave a lot of room for Everton behind. So that's a possible option as well, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to go against the crowd this week with so many going to be captaining, you know, Bruno and KDB and Salah and stuff. So, Brett, did I ask you?
No, I can't really give a straight answer here, like, because there's so many good options, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't got Salah, so I can't go him. I probably would if I had him. But I brought in Vardy on the wild card specifically to captain him in this game. And even though they weren't very inspiring against Liverpool, on the other hand, you know, watching Fulham and watching Calvert-Lewin get so much space, and the space that Digne had on that left-hand side, the amount of crosses he was putting in, I think if Castagna's back, and we've got James Justin on the left as well, who can get forward.
Well, Digne's out now, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I know Digne's out, but it's more, having watched him, just an example of where Fulham can get some joy.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
So
position-wise, yeah.
Yeah, because Digne got so much space against Fulham, you know, like Justin and Castagna, if he's back bombing forward, I'm hoping Vardy can do well. So I'm 90% going to go Vardy, but I have considered De Bruyne, Fernandes, and Calvert-Lewin. They're all in my team, and they're all solid options, you know. Number 2 from Vardy would probably be Fernandes, just having watched him in the last couple of games. 2 more goals in the Champions League as well. He can just score from anywhere. He's on fire.
Just as somebody who sold McCarthy and KWP on my wild card, and them having had as many clean sheets as what they have done in as many weeks, does make me a little bit nervous about, can Southampton shut up shop and keep United out and make that a difficult game? You know, that's my only.
It's a tough fixture, Southampton for sure. 3 clean sheets at home in 4. The only goals they've conceded, Southampton, is in that Spurs game.
Yeah.
So in 4 games at home, they've conceded 5 goals.
See, that's what was pushing me back to going back to Salah from Bruno, because I was like, that Southampton fixture isn't going to be quite as easy as what everyone thinks it is.
Sure.
So I was like, you know, get on Bruno for a week, bank those points, 22 points. Thank you very much. Now back to Salah.
You're all going to leave me in the no Salah. Awesome.
I could no. I'm not. I haven't done it yet.
You're doing it. I know you're doing it. I can tell you're doing it. I'm going to be the only one without Salah this weekend. I guarantee it.
Jay still has Bruno in his team. I would be selling one of the best players in Fantasy Premier League right now to go back to Salah. I mean, I'm not. That doesn't even though it's a
one
tough
of the other
fixture,
best players in the Premier League, right?
Like I don't know whether it's worth it. Is what I'm saying. As much as I have, it was my plan at the point I made it, and that was the exact point why I was going to do that. Having seen Bruno and again midweek how good he was,
I know
it's making that very difficult. So I may not do anything. So don't panic yet. I haven't done it yet.
Because it's the early kickoff, I'm just hoping I'm going to probably go for a run on Saturday morning, afternoon. Just wait for that game to finish. And then if Salah blanks in that Salah,
right.
and then that'll be so ideal then. Even if he just gets 7 points, I'll be like, fair enough, job done. As long as he doesn't get an 18-pointer, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm afraid of. If he goes massive, it will really annoy me.
Yeah. That's the bit I got to work out is what will annoy me more. Because he hasn't been scoring
from open play, Salah. Like when I had him, you know, he was the last couple of goals have been penalties, 7 pointers, 9 pointers. I think.
And he didn't look that brilliant last night either. Was it last night they played? Yeah.
Night.
He didn't look particularly brilliant. I mean, I know he's not, really. But like he didn't really, for me, he's been hanging very wide, and then I mean he's always done that, but it just, I think when you own them, you notice it more because you're like, get in towards the goal, score. I don't know what to do. Does somebody want to take charge of my team this week, please? Because whenever I don't know what to do, I just feel like doing nothing. You know.
The thing is, right, like I've told myself this week, because I'm stuck as well a little bit, I might just pretend that I forgot the deadline.
Yeah.
And just leave it and be like, you know what, I overslept, I've missed it, never, and let's see what happens. Because like that can happen, and sometimes it ends up being the best thing you can do.
Jay's already done that this season, haven't you, Jay?
Yeah.
On the deadline. How did that work out for you?
I can't remember which game week it was, so I don't know. I don't think it was a bad game week.
Yeah, I just hope it's not one of those Salah goes apocalyptic weeks. You know, that's all I don't want.
Don't, because you're talking me in. You want me to stay with you on Bruno. Now you're starting to talk me into going to Salah.
Stay with me, but he could go apocalyptic.
Stay with me, but you know he really could go apocalyptic. Nim, you don't want to stay with me. He
always does when I don't have him. It's so annoying.
Oh well, if you are going to stay off of him, then maybe I should go. Oh, right. Let's get some of these quick fires going.
Okay, cool. So, thanks for the questions, because I noted a lot of them just down. A lot came in like the last couple of minutes. There's a lot of stuff that we've kind of discussed already, but I guess we'll do 45 seconds and.
Yeah.
Do you want me to delegate to certain people or just kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll go around in the circle then. So I'll start with you, Nim. So this one's from Luke Macaulay. He's got 2 free transfers, and he wants to know Kane and Son out for Vardy and KDB.
That's horrible. I know what Kurt would say here. Absolutely not.
I didn't hear the first 2. Sorry.
Kane and Son out, mate.
Absolutely not. What an idiot. No, I'm not doing that. Never.
Yeah. I've got them both in my team, and I'm really struggling to drop them. So,
maybe just one.
Maybe just one. Yeah, I'd try and edge your bets. Right. I don't mind the Kane to Vardy. That's probably where I'm going to go if I don't go with Salah. So yeah, I would maybe edge your bets on one of them. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Okay. 1 sec. So the next one, just quickly then, this isn't really quick fire. Just, do we know how long Dinier's out for? John Tyner wants to know. Jay, any idea?
We can look it up while we're doing that. Jay
He got injured in training, didn't he? Yeah. Training injury.
I was going to say, he didn't look injured in the Fulham game. But...
France centre.
So that's a big blow for Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. It kind of puts me off the potential captaincy of Calvert-Lewin, to be fair. So yeah, you quickly look at that one then. So I'll throw this one to Kurt then.
I mean, I've got a kind of answer regarding Digne. So he's due to undergo surgery and then rehabilitation. So there's no date, but I'd imagine if you're rehabbing, you're missing a certain amount of game
Like
weeks.
3 weeks, probably.
Yeah, something like that. at
Ben-
least.
Ben
busy
says an
schedule.
extended spell on the sidelines, so
With the crazy
Yeah.
schedule, he's going to miss a lot of games, then, isn't he?
could be for up to 2 months apparently.
Oh, bloody hell. That's a lot of games over Christmas and
Yeah.
January. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just, because I want to shout out the people who are asking questions. So Carrie256, Kurt, would you guys go Spurs or get rid?
How am I getting all these stupid questions?
Sorry, Carrie, I know what you're going to get here, but I got to read them out, so there's no point.
Where are Spurs in the league? Can someone answer me that?
They're top at the moment, aren't they?
Why would you transfer out players from the best team in the league? Would you have done that to people like Man City in the past or Liverpool in the past? No, of course you wouldn't. So why is this different? Keep them in.
It's a good point, yeah. If Salah had bad fixtures, you'd probably still keep him, wouldn't you? If
Yeah.
he didn't,
This isn't as if it's
without
3
the
game
others.
weeks in. We're a quarter of the way through the season now.
Yeah.
They've played
Okay,
a lot of
I'm
tough
getting
games.
so worried how much you're bigging them up, and here's me thinking of keeping them, and I'm thinking he's gonna curse them, and I can see them doing nothing this
If I'd
weekend.
have cursed
now.
them, I'd have cursed them a few weeks ago when I was saying exactly the same thing, calling different people that were trying to transfer them out idiots. So instead, I'm keeping everything
I was not
as
one
it
of
is.
those. I have been trying my best to stick with the informed people.
Also, I do apologise for calling people idiots. I'm merely,
Only
responding
in
to their
jest. All meant in
transfers.
jest.
all in jest.
Yes.
Okay, so FPL Focus, hey Graham, he says,
Graham.
so this is for you, Jay. He says Kane to Vardy or Werner to Vardy.
Oh,
Werner to Vardy.
So have you kind of like lost faith in Werner now? I know you're going to think to get
No.
rid of him because you have to go to Salah to fund it. But
So-
what are your thoughts on Werner as individually?
My argument with Werner is I still think he will be scoring goals this season. I still think he's a decent option. But I just feel like right now, is he as much of a talisman in his side as the likes of Kane and Vardy? If Leicester score, Vardy's likely to be involved. If Tottenham score, Kane's likely to be involved, either goal or assist. I think Chelsea can score without Werner.
Cool. All right, thanks, mate. All right, then. So this wasn't a question, but I saw Stuart Fallon talking about Watkins to Jesus, a possibility. What do you think, Nim? Any thoughts on Jesus at all? Did he come into your thinking at all?
I have considered him for the Kane spot, but I think with Aguero back, it does concern me because they do rotate with each other a lot, and I still do think that Pep prefers Aguero. I know at some point he's going to have to
hasn't
give
exactly
it
done the
up,
business, has he, either, since being back?
and I think it is that thing that, I don't know that when Aguero goes that Jesus's place is nailed for getting that spot. The way things have been, I wouldn't be surprised if they went in for a really expensive striker from somewhere or other. So it was for Kane, did you say?
Watkins, I think.
Oh,
They must
Watkins.
have some money in the bank. So
I mean,
for that, it's not a bad punt because
it's not a bad punt. It's
neither
not
are
a
that
bad
highly
punt.
owned.
Yeah. But yeah, because he's be a bit more for Vardy, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it for the fixtures. He'll definitely get minutes. It's just how many minutes with Pep, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd just be the headache, the potential headache down the line. It could pay off this week, but then is he going to start against Fulham? Maybe they both start. It's just that guessing game, isn't it? And it's an expensive punt. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll quickly go round the circle then. Romario Bernard says Vardy or Salah captain. Nim?
Vardy, probably.
Jay?
Vardy.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, okay. Kurt?
For this week, Vardy.
Okay. You're muted, Kurt.
Every time. I do it once a stream. I don't know why. Was it Salah or Vardy?
Yes, captain. What do you think?
I'd probably have to go Salah.
Yeah, I love both options. I just, probably my own pessimism, I'm going to have to say Salah. because I'm probably going to go Vardy. But yeah, both great options. Bit of a coin flip. Yeah, I'll say Salah. Yeah, just lots of captaincy questions, really. Okay, here's one from Rajan Tandy. Sorry if I've pronounced that incorrectly. Should I play Souček or Brewster? What do you think, Kurt, from those two? You've got Brewster, haven't you?
Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
underwhelmed so far. I mean, I know
I
it's
only
cheap,
waxed lyrical about him in the first place because he was a 4.5 million striker that was going to play a lot of football.
Yeah.
I didn't expect much. It was just more if he had to come off the bench. You're getting 4.5 million striker that's scoring points. But I think Souček at West Ham, he hasn't really sort of hit the ground running like he did the end of last season. But he's still involved. I mean, he's had a couple of chances that have been either VAR ridden or this, that, or the other. He's been unlucky with a few, but
I really like Souček.
I prefer
actually.
Souček. I had Souček at the start of the season. I purely didn't transfer him. I didn't keep him because I wasn't too convinced if West Ham were going to be ready for this season. But
yeah,
I was right until they changed system. But yeah, I'll go Souček.
I've got one for you. I've got a quick fire for you. It's just come into my thinking now. See, this stream's just about me wondering what to do, really.
Are you tinkering?
I'm tinkering. So I'm losing a good player here, or possibly losing two good players, but Ziyech and Robertson for Salah and a 4.7 defender.
Is there a good 4.7 defender?
I don't know. It's annoying because Justin's 4.8.
I was going to say, I can think of a 4.8.
Annoyingly, I got rid of Justin because I was thinking of the longer term and I was still worried about Pereira and Castagna. I love Justin for this week and, for Sheffield United next week too. So I'm annoyed that I got rid of him, but I was trying to think of longer term. And that's why I got Kufal, because I thought when I get to like game week 13, 14, 15, I'll be happy to have Kufal then.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking longer term about, will Justin become a headache down the line?
Maybe
much as I like him for the next few.
Maybe Vestergaard to cover that Southampton with so many people having McCarthy and KWP, or even KWP himself. I mean, I know they got Man United this week. I don't think I'd have to play that position this week, or would I? I probably would because I got Lamptey injured. So yeah.
I can't get on board with Vestergaard really.
It's the selling Robertson bit I really hate. But if I don't sell Kane, then Robertson's the only place where money can come from to get back to Salah that isn't from Fernandes.
So what are Liverpool's next few? They've got Brighton next, then Wolves, and then Fulham, right?
Yes.
That's three good chances for clean sheets there now, you know.
And Robertson has the attacking threat as well.
He does. Like I got to admit, I was really salty about the Liverpool clean sheet over the weekend because I didn't have Robertson. But if they were doing well defensively, I would have just gone Trent to Robertson on the wild card. But they've conceded against like Sheffield United and all these teams when I've had Trent with a stronger team, and they've got all these injuries now. And then at home to Leicester, who were top of the league, they kept a clean sheet like it was the easiest clean sheet they've ever kept.
No,
and I was sort of like really like. And I had Vardy as well, which rubbed salt in the wounds. That really annoyed me. And now, because I love Liverpool defenders, I do. And
maybe I should get Tammy Abraham in for Kane, and then up Ziyech to
What do we think
Salah.
of Tammy? Let's quickly talk about Tammy then, because I think Focus was talking about Tammy in the chat. We haven't talked about him at all. So, is any of us actually fancy Tammy as an option?
I did have a think about him as a possible replacement for Wilson last week before everything else kicked off.
How much is Tammy? Is he like 7.4?
7.2.
7.2, yeah, and 2 goals and 1 assist in the last 3 games. So
he's actually played his way into the team, hasn't he?
He pretty much has, and he although he has Tottenham next, with Chelsea, then he has Leeds at home, which is a nice fixture. I mean, he's not Kane. That's the problem, is that I would be dropping Kane for him. It's just that then obviously I'm getting Salah in that deal, but I just can't get around feeling like I'm selling two good players to try and fit one good player in. Do you know what I mean? It's just tough. So Anyway.
I really like Robbo now. I know it's easy
Yeah.
to say after the clean sheet and assist. Like I was hoping they wouldn't keep clean sheets. I thought that Leicester fixture they're going to concede.
That's it.
But I mean, Brighton's a good chance because
Yeah.
they, like Mopai is not scoring goals. You know, they're struggling a little bit, and Welbeck's not the most lethal either. Then they've got Wolves who are struggling for goals as well. You know, they turn up against big teams, but it's still on paper a good chance for a clean sheet. And then Fulham. That's a nailed-on clean sheet, I think, for Liverpool. So I think Robbo over those three.
Yeah,
Still
and
I haven't got Liverpool defence now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like weighing up because it would be him or Salah pre-match, and I know on paper that seems like a simple, easy decision, but if Ziyech ends up being, you know, the player from Chelsea that everyone wants, you know, like Pulisic was last season.
Yeah, I was hoping that was the case, that he would be like the Fernandes for Chelsea, you know, that's involved in everything. And like everyone, you know, that's what I was hoping for Ziyech.
I mean, well, that's it. We don't know yet, Brett. It's only one game week these plans. And the thing is as well, is that he did look really good. Like, you know, like KDB good. I think if I'd been watching that match and he'd been highly owned and I didn't own him, I'd have been nervous. Do you know what I mean? I would have been thinking, oh God, he's going to score, I don't own him. So,
my only small thing that I'm a bit sad about with Ziyech is that he's not taking corners for some reason now.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, hang on a minute, why is my player not on corners? Like, I got him for that. You know, that was a bit
Mount seems to have is it Mount? I think he seems to have played his way back into that role, taking some more of the free kicks and stuff. So, and Chilwell,
I thought he was nailed on. Yeah, and then Reece James was taking them one week.
Oh yeah.
So that's a bit disappointing.
Maybe Frank just likes to mix it up.
Yeah, but you're right. Now we haven't given it. It's one game. It's one game. So I'm going to give him another chance.
I think right now I'm looking at either Kane to Vardy or Bruno to Salah. I think I should just, or nothing at all instead of making it too complicated. Right, okay. Kurt's tinkering, people are saying in the chat. Jeffers Corner question then. Oh, sorry, Brett, are we all good? We all up to date? Anyone else you want to shout out?
I'll just quickly shout out Stuart again because I said that Graham brought up Tammy, but it was actually Stuart's question. Okay. He did say Tammy Abraham, anyone. So cool. Sorry if we didn't get to your question. It was a lot of like this or this person for captaincy, but we can talk about that for days.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, Jeffers Corner question at Austin66 UK is back on the BJKN questions. So basically, this is where we have to answer the question with either an answer beginning with B, J, K, or N for our names. If we choose our own letter, we get 2 points. If we choose someone else's letter, we get 1 point. However, we can't just choose our letter to get the points. It must definitely be justified. So if a person thinks we're just doing this, then they can challenge us. And if we can't justify it, then, they get our points. And if we can, so yes, apparently Jeff is going to keep track of the scores for us. So our BJKN question this week is best song. So our best song, which I think is tough because obviously finding one of those that fits with one of those letters is quite difficult. And if you're anyone like me, you have a lot of best songs. So that makes it even more difficult. But I have a couple in mind. I don't know if one of the lads want to go first, though.
If it was a artist rather than song, like a band, then I would have had a good one here. But
he might do that in future. You never know. It might be one of them for the future. So, yeah.
Any of us got an
I've got an answer. I was just curious to see if anyone else wanted to go.
You go first, Kate.
So I don't have
Kate.
It's the long hair.
Sorry, is any of you actually watching the stream?
Yeah. Well,
is it still playing okay?
The long hair, then
I had it paused.
it goes. way to make a man feel self-conscious.
You're one of the
Blimey.
sound effects, Kurt. Pain or whatever. One of those. Or the
Pain.
ha ha ha.
Just pain.
No. Oh, hang on.
So basically, it's frozen on my screen. I'm just wondering, is it frozen for everyone else?
It looks frozen for me.
Yes. It's,
Okay.
Yeah. We're
Was
all
it meant to be frozen or?
No. Yeah, I've done it on purpose.
Well done. That is. Can they still hear us? Okay.
I think they can still hear us, but I don't know.
Unless
Oh,
Okay,
stream's
mix is it still
going.
going?
yeah, they can still hear.
Don't know whether
Okay.
to
Still
stop
hear
and
'cause
start.
I can hear the stream myself.
Let's
Mm.
quickly try stop and start. 1 second, everyone.
Want to start a whole new stream? Oh,
Oh,
oh. Don't
you-
know.
you said oh, so I said oh.
Oh, right. Can hear us. So.
I guess we just have to keep going to the end then. We're nearly at the end, aren't
Yeah, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I mean, I could have done with freezing on a better face.
we? Well, I
but,
didn't pick when to freeze, to be fair.
What's my face doing? Is it like just normal?
So,
You're going like this.
all three of us,
Okay,
or
standard.
guys, have got our
Yeah.
hand over our mouth
And
or
I'm
around
like-
the area. Nim's the only one that doesn't have her mouth covered.
Oh, what? I feel left out.
It's like we all knew and we were like, all right, get ready, guys, pose.
Why is that? So you would have had to start the stream completely, would you? It's the
I've already-
mannequin challenge. David.
I mean, I've
Oh,
tried
well.
it with OBS and it didn't change anything.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Okay, we'll just crack on then. Hopefully, it kicks us back in at some point. Everyone's loving my face.
It's now a podcast.
They can't see that, Kurt. Only we
Just
can
in case the
see
stream comes back.
it.
They got two.
Cool. All right then. Go on then, Kurt. Give it to us. Your best song. Oh,
Might
are we
have got us
back?
back.
Hey.
I'll let you know. Do you want me? I will wait a
Hey.
second. Just
Well, I
in
can now
case.
see your background on my OBS and people are moving. So I'm assuming they're about to get everything back.
They're about to get us back. Coming back at you. Anytime soon.
Quick thinking.
Oh,
Anytime
yeah, we are
soon.
back. There you go.
Hey.
Apologies, I fixed it though.
Sorry about that.
You didn't get to see the concentration face because I'd already frozen, so that's good.
I don't have the most mainstream choice in music, so there's not much people can say to accuse me of not having this. But
Okay.
a band called Ruskaja,
Sass.
who released an album called No One Is Illegal in 2019. There's a song on it called Cosmopolite, and it's about touring the world and trying to reunite with fans that they've got all across the world. I don't really know much of the words because
Does
it's
that begin with a K then?
Cosmopolite with a K.
Okay.
But I'm
I
sure you
think-
said before we stream, you should get them to sing
Yes,
it so
to
they can
sing.
prove they like the song, and you don't know the words.
Not really, because a lot of the songs confuse into one because half of it's in Russian, half of it's in English.
Is this one of your favourite bands, Kurt? Your favourite
Yeah.
band?
They haven't toured outside of sort of Russia, Germany. That
I
sort
don't
of
know,
thing. They've
Jay.
never been-
Jay,
they've
you
never been
go.
to the
You
UK.
challenge, man. You
What's the
challenge.
band called?
Yeah,
Are
but
they on
how do I
Spotify?
prove him wrong? If I challenge,
They're called
like,
Ruskaja.
I don't know. I thought
RUSSKJA.
this is where it falls down.
like, do I need evidence?
Okay,
do I
I've
need
got
a
them.
folder?
It's their
I don't
latest
know.
album.
The
No One
chat
Is
is saying you
Illegal.
have to sing it,
I
Kurt,
think
otherwise it's
track
not
8 or
allowed.
9.
Right,
I can
on-
whistle
on-
the tune if you
on
want.
Spotify.
Go on, whistle the
this-
That'll
tune then.
do. That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Oh, sorry, I thought Brett was talking.
Silence. Go on, Brett. You talking?
I'm
Or
doing
is
some
he whistling?
research. I'm doing some
Okay.
research.
Okay. Kurt,
Oh, is he
whistle,
going to
go.
ask him some questions about
No, I'm
this?
asking Kurt some questions. Yeah.
That's the album. No One Is Illegal.
Okay.
And the track is 8 or 9. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It is
But this came
Number
out in
8.
2019. I feel like that's a very new song to be your all-time favorite. Like, surely it would be one from like 5-10 years ago, like an all-time favorite. You know, can
Yeah.
a song so new be your favorite song ever?
because I go through phases.
What your best song? Doesn't say
it
favorite
would
song
be
ever. Just best.
In a couple of months, if COVID dies down, my favourite song would probably be something from Green Day because I've got tickets to a postponed gig that they're doing now in summer of 2021. So I go through phases. The only reason is because I've been listening to a lot of it, recently trying to do housework and build flat pack furniture. And honestly, the more I listen to Ruskaja, the more I absolutely love them.
Cool. But can you whistle us the tune?
Yeah, go on.
And to prove it, oh no, I can't play it. Copyright, but I'll play it to you,
Well,
after.
yeah,
I'll play it to you after.
We can go listen to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Jeff, we might have to retrospectively challenge, and we'll tell you.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, on Spotify, that one's got 600,000 listens. Some of their top songs got 7 million, 5 million.
I love how into this Brett is. He's like
Brett's
proper
thundering.
sassing him out.
One of their
He's
top
proper
songs must be
sassing him out.
Energia, I'm assuming.
It is, mate. It is Energia, yeah.
See,
So he
that
knows
proves
about
that I know the band. That proves that I know the
So
band.
just quickly,
Yeah, but-
Well, yeah,
that's
you
I
one-
know
wouldn't
the
choose a
Pussycat
band.
Dolls.
Yeah, you wouldn't choose a band you didn't know.
What is it about that song in particular, Kurt?
It's got a really, really catchy beat, and it's one of
Didn't think
they're
this would
quite
be quite as controversial as what it's become. I love
a lot
it.
of their older stuff albums. Like I think there's their first two is purely all in Russian, and the more they release albums, the more they release songs in English.
Yeah.
Because they're
And this is
getting
one of
bigger.
the catchiest songs that's in English, so I can sing along to it. And yeah, I mean that's all I can really say on it, to be honest.
I'm happy with that. I could see his face when he was really,
He's passionate about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I could see
exactly.
that. I could see that in his face when he was talking about the band there. So I'm happy
Okay.
to give him that point.
All right. Well, thanks for letting him have that, right? don't expect not to be challenged back now, though. When he comes back here.
And Brett was short. Challenge, please, challenge.
Should I go next one? Or you, KJ? You got one? Or
I don't mind.
Okay, you go. Go on then.
Okay, so as a kid, I liked pretty generic music that I thought
Challenge.
that I thought everyone else liked because I didn't want to be too different, apart from Linkin Park. So, childhood, a lot of my childhood was like In the End, Breaking the Habit, that kind of stuff. And then in 2007, Linkin Park brought out Bleed It Out, and it was just kind of a nostalgia trip because I let go of Linkin Park for a bit, and then they came back. And so I'll have to say that is my best song. And it's the one I play the most, probably on
So
my phone.
you're going for the 1 point in choosing Brett's left.
Yes. There is no song with Jay. I'd be making it up.
I'm sure there's just something or other.
Not that I believe I could convince you is my favourite song.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
I like the
Well,
Justice League
no,
tune.
Hang on, you didn't say favourite song, you just said our best
Look
song.
at that's my best song.
Okay, cool.
Favourite,
Alright then.
best.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think yeah. That has
Also,
to
I'm
be.
happy
It's
to
not.
let that
It's
go
not.
because that is a fantastic song.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right then. I've got two I'm struggling between. One's
Well, you
Choose the
can't
one
have
with
two lots of
Jay.
points.
Choose the one with a J. I need the points.
So
There
I've
is a
got-
one with J, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
No, Jeff coming in, jumping Jack
Jumping
Flash. That's
Jack
not a bad
Flash.
song.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones. It's probably before everyone's time, but
Yeah, I don't know that one. Not gonna lie.
Rolling Stones.
I know of the Rolling
Um,
Stones, so at least I know that much.
Yeah. So I've got one. You all know him, like love Florence. So the No Light, No Light, No Light in the deep blue sea. That one, I really like that one. That's like one of my best songs.
One off.
One of, yeah. But I like, just so that you guys have like a kind of, it has to be for longer and all of that sort of vibe. Then I'd probably go with Annie Lennox, No More I Love Yous. So
So it just so happens that two of your favourite songs both begin with F.
Mick, if you're still in the chat, what
That's
do you
sus.
think her favourite song is?
Ah.
I just want to know what Mig thinks Nim's favourite
It's
song
just that
is.
emergency meeting call.
Yeah. It's very convenient.
It is very convenient, isn't it?
How on earth did you not have a song beginning with J?
That's true. I don't know.
Shocking.
Or K or B. Yeah.
Do you have
I
it on a
think-
playlist on your phone right now?
Shall I look? Do you want me to look?
Yep.
We'll still have playlists.
No, I don't, to be honest.
I listen album to album generally. Occasionally, I'll just put the whole phone on shuffle, but that's it.
I generally search for songs. Like on Spotify, I'll type the song in and listen to it.
That's probably about as much as I can play without
Great.
copyright.
The stream's been
Well,
struck
I
down.
didn't ask you to play it. I just wanted you to show it.
That was just me singing. It was me
For
singing.
all I know, you just type that into YouTube.
Oh, it would have been bloody quick.
So what is that one called, Nim? That one you just put on?
No More I Love Yous. There
Well,
you go.
why do you like that one so much?
Okay, Mig says it's not.
Does he?
Mig says
My
it's
favourite
Blue
song is
Moon
Blue Moon.
because it's Aguera's ringtone.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, go
Come
for that one.
on. I'm not City obsessed. I'm Aguero obsessed, not City obsessed. It's Annie Lennox has been like one of my favorite like singers since I was really young, and one of her songs, Must Be Talking to an Angel with the Eurythmics, was number 1 on my birthday. So just grew up listening to her tracks, and just at the moment going through a breakup. That's quite apt, that one.
How many times have you listened to it, would you say?
Her album and the best of albums and the Eurythmics, I always put them on like whenever I'm like having a shower and doing my hair and all that sort of stuff. I have like a random switcheroo around and stuff like that. So
And
comes on.
that's your favourite song on the album, is it?
Yeah, I would say it would be tough between that and Must Be Talking to an Angel, but I think No More I Love You is up there. I like
Cool.
singing along. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, but I am with Kurt. You do go through phases, so it is tough. Best is tough.
Ooh,
Yeah,
a bit
to
of
choose-
element of doubt there. Now you've put some doubt in my
Just-
mind that you're
just
giving the right
choose-
answer.
To choose to like, well, next week it could be something else.
You almost had the points there.
Next week it'll be something beginning with B, K, or J.
Yeah.
But this
No, if-
week,
if genuinely, if we were to have this question in a few months' time, let's say February, March time, it
Yeah.
would be something Green Day.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it would be something Green Day because there's no sort of favourite songs I have of all time. It depends what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, and he didn't say favourite song of all time anyway. He just said best song.
And if it was favourite
Best
artist, it'd be
song.
Bon
Wasn't
Jovi
best song of all
easily.
time. It was just
That
best
doesn't mean
song.
one of my favourite songs
Right
is
now,
from Bon Jovi.
Going through a breakup, my best song is No More I Love You. So it works, you know. Come on then, Brett. Come on, Brett.
So my
Challenge.
favourite song, my best song, unfortunately begins with an R, so I can't use that one. It's Rose of
fair enough.
Sharon by Killswitch Engage. My second favourite song from them is Arms of Sorrow, so I can't use them, that song. So one of my other favourite bands is Trivium, and my favourite song from them is called Kirasute Gomen, beginning with a K.
Oh.
So I would hand the point to Kurt for that one.
Well, no, you get the point. You get a
a
point.
point.
Yeah, I
It's
know that.
just
I
one
get 1
point.
point, and I also would hand Kurt a point. So yeah, that's it's a tough one, but that is my favourite Trivium song.
Right, okay. I don't think the point goes to Kurt, just so we're clarified.
No, I think he gets a point.
Yeah,
It's
you
okay.
you get yours, but
He
it's
gets one.
it's just one.
I get one and Kurt gets one.
No, Kurt doesn't get the one.
I thought I did get one.
I thought if you use someone else's letter, they
Using
also
K's
got a
letter.
point. I think Jeff is in the chat, so you can
Yeah.
verify.
Well,
for us.
I've got the rules here, and it's if we choose our own letter, we
You
get
get
2
2 points.
points. If you choose someone else's letter, you get 1 point each.
Jay, what was your
However-
answer? Read it
Uh,
out.
It's
So
the
Read it
Brett-
out,
I
so
thought it
Brett
was
got a point.
Brett also gets a point for that.
yeah,
And Jay
right,
gets
okay.
a point.
Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah,
Jeff
Jeff says
confirmed.
yeah.
Jeff says
Yeah,
it.
so that's it. That's my
Okay.
favourite song. Yeah,
Cool.
It's a from Trivium anyway. It's a great song.
Cool. Ah, there you go. That was good. I think that was a good round.
Here we are.
Good round.
Cool, no challenge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did pretty
I
well
see
at
Nim
challenging
just wanted
Kurt,
all the
but-
rest of us to get less points. That's what Nim was playing
But
at.
no,
She was like, how do I take
no.
points off of them?
Huh? Oh.
How do I get points off the guy?
No,
That's
I
on
mean-
play.
I mean,
Where's that beating button?
I think like if I knew that, I'd keep that in mind for next time. For sure. Okay then, guys. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I will pass you over to Jay to wrap up the stream.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this stream. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, go follow us on Twitter. That's at FPL WildCats, where you can hear the latest from us when we're next going live. And also check us out on Instagram as well. With all that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll catch you guys later.